What's up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome back to another Casual Tuesday. We're here talking Season 2, Episode 11. We're talking death, we're talking taxes, and we have a very special guest, so make sure you stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
They just always bring back the good old songs in the show.
This is a good one.
And Val eating donuts too, it just makes it 10 times better. Hello everyone, welcome back to another casual episode after show. And we are so excited to be here. We have a special guest. We have so much to talk about. But before we introduce our special guest, I am your host, Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at _Abby Vega. And to my left, we have Renee here.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel.
And now we're very, very excited to have our special guest here. We have Spencer himself, Rhenzy Feliz. Welcome.
How you guys doing? Thank you.
Where can everyone find you on social media?
Twitter, you can find me at Rhenzy Feliz, and Instagram, just Rhenzy F. Keep it simple.
And we are so excited. Rhenzy's role has been very prominent this season, definitely in Laura's character and that whole storyline, so we're very excited to chat with you about that. First, we'll just recap the episode, and then we'll talk more specifically about you and your character. So, I love the way this episode started with Leon.
Oh my gosh, me too.
I've always loved Leon.
Same.
I love that character. And so we see at the beginning, it's kind of like a progression of what his relationship.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that?
I thought they did it so well. I was so intrigued because we really don't see Leon a lot, and if we do, it's always something about Alex, and he's just kind of there hearing about it.
Right.
But I loved watching this relationship develop and then end so sadly. But I loved the way they did it. I thought it was so cool, and I wouldn't think that type of like time lapse, I didn't think it would work in this kind of show, but it did really well.
Yeah, I love it because everyone loves Leon as a character. Everyone wants to see more of him, and I feel like finally they gave him like a good little. It was almost like a short film that they had.
Yeah.
for Leon.
It was. I really
so
loved
cool.
it. And I loved, too, how they made it a point to show Alex calling him and him kind of... I don't like to use the word neglect for Leon because he's such a good friend to Alex.
Right.
So I wouldn't use that word, but they kind of show how he was maybe not really paying attention to Alex as much, which is good for him. He deserves his own life.
He's to stand his ground,
But But then, so when Leon shows up to Alex's house, and Alex just went on a rant about himself, Renee and I were talking, we thought that Leon was just going to have a freak out and finally be like, Alex, like, stop talking about you.
Yeah,
I've been going through a lot.
stuff. Yeah, but no.
That would have been interesting to see.
I would have liked
But
that.
do you think that would have been out of character for Leon?
I do think it would be out of character for Leon because, here's the thing, this is the first time we've seen something go on in Leon's personal life. That doesn't mean that through this whole show he hasn't gone through stuff. So every time, I mean, maybe not every time, but probably a lot of the times he was talking to Alex about all of his problems and his eyebrows. I mean, he was probably going through other stuff and still kept his mouth shut about it.
Yeah, I think that it's very consistent of his, because I mean he's had a life. Just because this is the first time we see his life, I don't feel like it's the first time that he's actually having one. I feel like he's had these type of relationships and friendships before. It's just that we never get to see that side of it. And finally, episode 11 lets us jump into that with Leon.
And this just brings me to think, so what would you consider Alex and Leon true friends? I've never really thought about this, but it's so interesting because to me the relationship is so one-sided in regards to who's going to drop everything and be there, but then why does Leon... there's something there in that relationship, but I just can't figure out what it is that keeps Leon there.
Yeah, I feel like this may be the wrong word for it, but I feel like it's a convenient friendship because whenever Alex needs someone, he knows that one friend will be there for him. And for Leon, I wouldn't say it's an inconvenient friendship, but I just think the dynamic, like Leon's probably just a really caring person who's quite selfless and puts everyone before himself, and then Alex is the complete opposite. So together, they're like the perfect, I say this so often, but they're the perfect toxic relationship.
Yeah, I mean, Leon, I feel like Leon stays because he sees that Alex really needs that type of friend, that he needs that, like he's almost emphatic about, he has a lot of empathy for Alex, and I feel like he wants to help him, he wants to be a good friend, and that's why he kind of stays there even though he's not getting much out of that relationship.
Yeah, poor Leon. I love that guy.
I know.
Love that guy. Love you, Leon.
Leon's so great.
So, let's talk about let's just finish with Alex, and then we'll go into Val and Laura's storylines.
Sweet.
So Alex, I love when Leon just straight up goes, "You need professional help," because this stupid eyebrow thing, which I find hilarious.
So funny.
Like, so funny. There's one line when he's talking to the guy therapist, and it was like, "That is really just a terrible thing to say to someone," or something, and he's so emotional about this. So he goes to see Jennifer, which I think is interesting. Because we kind of predicted that maybe Alex and Jennifer might have a little thing, but that wasn't happening until last episode when they kind of talked and started a friendship. So I thought it was interesting how she refused to be his therapist because it crossed a line, because I didn't think that they knew each other that well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has more so to do with, and this is just my opinion, the fact that he like barges in, like doesn't even go through anything that you're supposed to go through to like get a therapist. He just shows up because he knows she's there. So she's probably like, "No, I don't want to see this nuthead. Like, go away." And he's like, "No, what about? Come on, please." And eventually she has to say yes in some way because he will not stop.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the conflict of interest thing might be because her really good friend is Valerie, and she's kind of the brother, and so she, like, a lot of his problems have to do with Valerie, and I feel like that could kind of conflict with, the professional. I'm not a therapist. I don't know what, the morals are behind the job and anything, but yeah, that was always interesting to me there, kind of him coming to her and like really, really needing it almost.
Yeah, and it's also just so in character for Alex to go in there when there's another patient waiting, just thinking that he can just go in and screw this guy who has been her patient forever. He's like, no,
like
no one's supposed to be here.
Yeah,
it's like, I know. Thanks for your flexibility.
Yeah,
he just it's so oblivious to everyone around him, like doesn't get it, and he walks in, he's like, "You promised."
It's so interesting because Alex really is just all about me, but there's just something to me about that character that's so intriguing, and like you root for him still, even though he's so like narcissistic.
Yeah.
Am I saying that word wrong?
Yeah, no, narcissistic.
Okay. I'm like, that sounded weird coming out. So I thought the scene with Alex at the guy therapist was just hysterical.
I know.
Because he was used to Jennifer, who was more of like a friend. It was like a conversation, and this guy's just sitting there waiting, slurping his tea.
I love that line. What did he say about slurping?
I think I wrote it down.
You know what's distracting? The way you're slurping that tea like a goddamn camel.
Yeah.
So
because
funny.
I knew that he was going to freak out about the slurping because there was so much silence and it was so uncomfortable, and all he was doing was slurping. And then, of course, he brings up the eyebrows, and I thought the therapist said it perfectly. Do you think there's like do you think the eyebrows are a distraction for what's really happening? Which is totally what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But why do you guys think he was like so hung up on these eyebrows? Like, was it just a distraction? Like, was he making that his big problem so he didn't think about the deeper problems?
Probably. I mean, here's the thing though. Personally, I obsess over certain things. I feel like if you were like, "Nice haircut," I would think about this for like 2 weeks and think, what's wrong with my
I feel like
haircut?
there's something about an attack on your appearance that can kind of drive you crazy.
But considering he does not fix any of his actual problems, it could just be like another distraction because he really doesn't have any right now. He can't talk to his sister about it. His friend hasn't been available for who knows how long, and then when he's finally available, he's like, "You need professional help." So he just, I don't know, I think he's just getting desperate and antsy and like needs to complain about something because he won't talk about what's actually bugging him.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that he doesn't like she tells him, she goes on a whole rant how you won't let anybody in and you'd rather destroy everything than let somebody in, and the only thing he gets from that entire argument in her rant is the eyebrows thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's like, it's just so telling of that character. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's very interesting that the one person that he is opening up to right now is Jennifer. Because I mean, he goes back and he's not like full on like divulging all his issues, but she has a way of talking to him and kind of helping him realize like the true issues here. And I think it's interesting to see their kind of, I don't know how to describe their relationship because it's not a professional one because she's not like his therapist. I wouldn't call them friends.
Yeah, I hardly call
So
them
I'm
friends.
very interested to see how this relationship's gonna progress.
Yeah, same. I don't know. I really can't predict that because this show, you really can't predict what's going to happen next, especially with relationships. And with this dynamic, I don't know what will happen because Alex clearly should not be with anyone. Mm-hmm. Jennifer's clearly still getting over Jack. Like, girl, I don't know what happened with him, but like, you gotta let it go. So I really don't think they're good for each other, but who knows? People make bad decisions.
I think that that's gonna be like a little thing. I don't know if it's gonna be a lasting thing, but I called that right when Jennifer and Jennifer and Val became friends. I have a feeling Alex is gonna kind of get in there and it's gonna be weird.
And that would piss Val off.
Yeah, Val's a whole.
Keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, don't give us any spoilers. Yeah. So then one thing that Jennifer says that really sticks with Alex, causing him to go to his parents' house, is, maybe you guys need to look at where your anger is really coming from, because they both have, Val and Alex both have this anger, and they kind of, their lives are so intertwined, and I love that she called him out on that, because we've said that, like, siblings are close. There's a difference between close and their lives are too intertwined.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like how she brought attention to that, because no one really had until this point. So she said that, and then kind of said, you guys need to maybe figure out where this is coming from, which leads us to him being in front of his parents' house.
Even though that's like the wrong place to look. I love that it takes a crazy man on the street to be like, it's like complete, no context. He's just saying things. He's like, you're the problem. It's your fault. And then he's like, oh. And I don't know if it got to him or not, but I love that whole scene happened with that guy.
Yeah, that was interesting. It threw me
off.
Yeah.
So I think something got through to him. Maybe it did take a crazy homeless man saying nonsense to him at this point. But he left. So perhaps, because he didn't go into the door, didn't knock or anything, so perhaps that really did resonate with him?
Well, with that, sometimes it takes a complete outsider who knows nothing about you or any of the relationships or the problems to just say something to you for it to click.
Yeah.
So maybe that is what happened. But what do you guys think the deal is with his dad? That was weird.
That was so weird.
Yeah, the ending?
Yes.
Yeah.
It threw me off.
But it shows how, their relationship is. He didn't even tell either of his kids that he's in the hospital or that anything's wrong. And then meanwhile, there's some crazy guy being like, you're the problem, it's your fault. And he's like, oh, maybe it is me. Maybe I'm oblivious to other people's feelings. Maybe it's something that I have a problem with. And then as he leaves, you see he doesn't know this whole situation going on with his dad.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, this makes sense. I'm not surprised he didn't get a call, because they don't have a great relationship, especially after they left off last with the whole Sarah thing.
Yeah. So I'm pretty curious to how that's going to play into the final 2 episodes. And
yeah,
it's actually interesting. When I was reading the final scripts, the ones like these right now, I was like, oh, that's so weird. I was thinking the same thing you were, how they didn't really have that conversation. He's in the hospital and he had no idea. Then I watched the episode where Alex goes to Burbank. I forget which episode it was. It might have been 4 or 5, something around there. But his dad actually does, as he's closing the door, says hey, Alex, by the way, I'm having these hospital things, and then he cuts him off.
Oh my
and
gosh.
when I watched it again, I'm like, oh my god, so they start laying down the seeds early on about
Interesting.
it. And so yeah.
I would not have picked up
I
on
didn't
that.
notice it the first time. I had to see the seeds, and I was like, oh wow, that's gonna come up later. And I'm like, that's funny how they dropped that in there subtly.
That does make sense, and it kind of is also telling again of Alex, if he cut and didn't really. He doesn't listen.
Yeah. He only listened to the fact that his dad told his ex-girlfriend he cheated on him.
So that's interesting. So now let's move on to Val. Val and Drew. We kind of called this.
Yeah, we did earlier on.
I thought it was pretty funny. So they were sitting, waiting to get their taxes and their divorce finalized. And Val was kind of cracking me up. She was just so laughing and so happy
that he was miserable. It's like she's enjoying his misery. It's so
exactly.
funny.
And she
wouldn't be happy. I'd be like, you cheated on me, glad you're miserable.
And it was kind of funny. It was because it was so subtle. She would just be like,
the honeymoon. She sang the song with the honeymoon is over.
See, if I was Drew at that point, I would have been like, shut. She was kind of driving me crazy for Drew. I was like, I would be so annoyed if someone was doing this to me, just singing while I'm so
right,
miserable.
Kicking a beat dog while he's down.
Exactly.
It's so funny because it's like what you said, how finally she gets kind of gets the upper hand on Drew.
Finally.
Yeah.
I know.
Hysterical.
I know.
I
Val,
love what she does
we were
with
talking about this. Val has grown on us this season.
Oh yeah.
Because she's loosened up a lot. You know, she's not that same super anal person that she was all season 1, and she's definitely loosened up.
She's cracking jokes. She's eating donuts in the car. I'm into it.
I loved that.
Yeah, she's having a fun time.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. It's finally you're having enjoying yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love seeing that with her character. And so and they kind of start talking about, I thought it was weird how they started talking about this is at the diner. So first we'll talk about them walking out. And I didn't know who at first she was freaking out about seeing. I was like, wait, who is this?
Oh, I did. I was like, oh my god, that's the girlfriend. That's the one we've been hearing about for so long.
Okay.
I thought it was hysterical.
So Val, they follow him into a restaurant, and right when this happened, I go, okay, they're gonna stop paying attention to the patient, and they're just gonna end up having a little date.
Yep.
And that's what happened. And right when they started talking about their sex lives, I go, okay.
Yeah, and how like they want to
It's
have like that
going down.
emotional thing, but like no strings. Yeah, and
I'm
I was
like,
oh, this I know where this is going.
Right when they started talking about sex, I'm like, first of all, this is kind of weird that they bring this up with their ex, but right after that, I'm like, it's happening. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was watching that, and then it reminded me of what Jennifer says earlier on. Like, oh, just wait till he tries to fuck you, and it's like that's like now starting. She's like, he's gonna try this. Like, oh, he absolutely will.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of like now that's starting to, her prophecy or whatever.
Yeah, we did say that. We called that. We're like, we had a feeling, but then Drew hadn't been in it the last couple episodes much. But I thought this was a great way to bring him back into the mix, and so obviously they're leaving, and I thought maybe, okay, they're leaving, and they were going separate ways.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden she started going the way with him, and I go, oh no.
Yeah.
Here it comes. And I thought it was kind of strange that they were just kissing in public. Like, what if I guess she was at the doctor, but I'm like, someone you know might see you.
I know. They just like did not care at all.
But we were assuming, this is like, I guess, a prediction, but we think that the next episode's going to start with, and they're going to be like in bed together, or
okay.
We think it went farther than a kiss.
Oh yeah, we think it went a little over PG. So
that'll be really interesting. I'm curious to how them getting together will affect Val. I hope she doesn't retreat back to kind of how she was, because he's the reason she was so insecure and how she was in the first place. So it kind of makes me a little worried.
I really hope, and I would love to see this for Val, that they like start hooking up, and then he's the one that's like, oh my god, we should be back, and she's like, no, we talked about this.
Yeah.
I have some guy that lives in a hotel who hasn't called me for 2 weeks.
I can kind of see that with her now, because he's the one who's so miserable and unhappy, and so it's kind of good, like the ball's in her court, you know, like I can do this if I want, and she has no one to tie her down or no reason.
Yeah, she like distanced herself from Alex currently. She's like seeing this guy who is not her typical type, you know, and she's just living free, doesn't care, and I'm like so happy for her.
Go Val.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get in to your character.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Laura and Spencer's character, we were saying like I love this relationship.
Me too.
It's such a good one for her.
Well, is it though?
It's
right. It's like I was thinking about it, and it's like it's just human nature. Like, why is everyone so self-destructive? Like, finally she decides to open up and really like a person, and it's a guy who's going to be dying in 6 months.
Yes.
Like, why would you do that to yourself? But it's like, she knows that it's not going long term, so she doesn't have to think about that, and that's kind of comforting to her in a way, so she's able to finally open up, but with a guy who's going to,
I know. I'm like nervous. I'm nervous for what's going to happen. Well,
I know.
We'll get into it. But so it starts off, and Aubrey, is she gone?
Yeah, what happened to Aubrey?
Yeah. I mean, like, with saying the script, like, it might have been too intense for her. Like, she didn't say anything. She just kind of up and left. It was like,
because
what?
she did seem to kind of have that personality.
Yeah,
kind
she
of
did like take a chill pill though, because they literally hooked up a few times and were friends. Like, you gotta chill.
Yeah. So Aubrey's out of the picture. We think for now. Yeah. She's out of the picture, which doesn't bother me.
No.
I like just seeing like Spencer and Laura. I thought that Aubrey sometimes kind of made it almost uncomfortable.
Oh, it definitely was.
They were all together. She's like, yeah, we used to hook up like randomly. I'm like, girl, stop.
Yeah, so it was good. And it's very, in Laura character, you guys are sitting on the couch looking at cemeteries.
Oh my gosh,
right.
so morbid. This whole
is.
episode. She's
so
like,
darkly fun, but I love it. It's
it
like,
is.
So
I love what they're
funny.
doing with it.
It is, it's very dark and kind of
Definitely.
try to make a hard situation light. Like, they try to put humor on it to kind of deal with it, which is, we kind of assumed that's what she was doing and that's what Spencer was doing, that it's, this is how they're going to deal with it. People deal with things in different ways. So I actually really liked this conversation about how Spencer was talking about how what his mom wanted for the funeral. And I like how Laura asked, what do you want? Because I think that's a valid point. It's, even though it's this sad thing, you should get a say in it, in a sense. I don't know.
Right.
I thought it was an interesting conversation that they had, Laura and Spencer have, which leads them to go casket shopping.
oh my gosh.
That was so weird. I mean, what was the first one? We go to this, like, weird one where he actually sells them, not the warehouse, so that's the one we're talking about now. Yeah, that was fun. We shot that somewhere, I think it was here in Burbank, actually. A cemetery around here somewhere. I'm not sure where everything was, but that was a fun day. Yeah. It is weird. Like,
Went to a cemetery.
It was a fun day. No, but we didn't have to do anything that day. That day was just us talking inside and like talking with the guy or whatever. But when we got to the coffin shopping and having to get in, that was weird for me.
Yeah,
To
that
actually
was.
have to get in one.
Yeah, that was.
Creepy.
I liked this whole storyline in this episode. It was
Yeah.
really good because. So when you guys are talking to the original guy about like the plans, you know, talking about music and still kind of cracking jokes, and I thought that was an
Right.
important scene to include before Laura has her meltdown because, it was she was being very humorous about it, and
Yeah.
so when she gets finally to the warehouse and you guys are still making jokes about the caskets, which ones, and right when you got in, I had a feeling. I'm like, this is gonna get real
Oh,
because
really?
I thought it was when he was just gonna be in it and then
same.
it would hit her.
I
but-
thought so too because
Yeah.
I'm like seeing someone laying in this casket. I feel like it makes it real. It's like
Yeah.
seeing them in there is weird.
Right. You can put it off for so long, but that's the way kind of I was playing. I was like, right now, I feel like Spencer, he's just kind of like, you know, making a lot of jokes about it. He wants to still live his life the way any teenager would. He's still going to school. He's doing all that. But I think I always thought in my head, when it gets to those last couple weeks, it's going to hit him, and it's going to hit him hard because, it has to. You're going to die. Like, death is real, and it's not
Yeah.
a joke at that point. But yeah, at that point, they were just joking about it, and then, she turns, flips the switch.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting what exactly got her to switch because you guys were laying in the coffin, just kind of chatting, and then it was you taking a picture and making a comment about
her taking
After
off
I'm
social
dead.
media.
after I'm dead, which that's super dark and like twisted, but it's Laura we're talking about, so
Right.
it was surprising that I knew she was gonna snap at some point, but that was it, and I loved the way. I'm curious to like how you went into this scene and how you got there emotionally because you did it so well. You were genuinely confused, like, wait, what? You're the one joking about it all the time. Like, why are you suddenly freaking out?
Right.
And so I thought that was a really good scene that you guys did. What did you do,
thanks.
to prepare for
Pretty much it's just like, the characters, you'd think that you making jokes would land funny, and then all of a sudden it doesn't, and you just have to take that, like, really? You're going to be mad at me now because, I'm joking around the same way we've been joking around all day, all week, ever since we've known each other, we've just been joking around about the cancer, and now you're going to get all mad at me? And then that's when, she finally opens up, and it's like, yeah, I'm mad because it's, I don't want you to die. I really care for you.
I love seeing that side of Laura because you don't see it that much. Even when you guys, in last episode, when you guys were talking
Yeah.
about, what sex means to, like, Spencer and what sex means to Laura. And I love kind of when she breaks down a little bit. You know what I mean? Because she
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
puts up a front, and you called her out on it. Like, you don't have to, like, act cool.
Right.
So I love when you see those emotions from her, and I thought that was a really good scene where she's just straight up, I don't want you to die. Because she hasn't said that yet. We all knew she was thinking it and that it was going to affect her eventually. But I thought that was it was so sad.
It's such a sad,
Yeah, we
sweet
both
scene.
loved it. Tara and I, she plays Laura. She's awesome. Right after we read it, I was talking to her. She's like, finally, she starts to break down and open up about it. And that's what she loves because that's what you want for these people. You want these, you love these characters, and they're always so closed up and boarded in. It's like we want them to finally experience something, to feel something.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
okay, I have a question. Was there a reason for zipping up her jacket?
No, it was just in the script. He zips up. We actually weren't even supposed to kiss. It was just scripted to zip up the jacket. And then after we did the first take, Zander, the creator, comes up, tells the director, "Oh yeah, we want to kiss." And then he's like, "All right, after the zip up kiss." We were like, "Okay, cool." And then so I did that. And then
I didn't know if there was like some, because did you notice the zip? I noticed
Yeah, it
the
was
zip
like a
very
slow
specifically.
zip.
Exactly.
I
I
was
was like,
like-
is there more to this that I just don't know about?
No.
So it
Or
was.
maybe there is. They just scripted as a script, as a what's it called? Zip. Yeah.
So I think that'll be very interesting now because that was kind of the last scene that you guys were like talking,
Right.
and so I'm curious now, and I hope that in these next couple episodes, it's gonna be more of a deep like Laura opening up with you.
Right.
With your character. I'm
Right,
like
right.
talking to you like you're Spencer, like Spencer.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to kind of see that. Did I miss anything before we dive into just like you and your experience on the show? Did I miss anything of this episode?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's get into predictions and then we'll dive in with you.
Yeah. I'll keep my
Prediction
mouth
music. We're just gonna stare at you to see if you
Okay.
give anything away in
Just
the
like a
eyes
little
or in the
smirk.
smile.
shut. I'll just say like this the whole
Yeah,
time.
just smile the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, we only have 2 episodes left, which is crazy. I can't believe it. What are some predictions you got?
Okay, so I definitely think that we talked about this. Drew and Valerie the next episode is going to open up with them. waking up the next morning, probably some regrets on one end or the other, probably Valerie's end, and I think Drew is going to be like, no, we can do this, like, and he's going to be the one attached and she won't be. I also think we're going to see a lot more of vulnerable Laura in, like, the next few episodes, and then maybe next season, because this is, like, not going to get better from here. It's going to keep getting worse, and I don't even know how that, I'm terrified of that. And I also think that we're going to see a conversation between Valerie and Jennifer about the whole Alex, him coming into her office, and I think she's going to be pissed at Alex.
I hope, this is not a prediction, I hope that Alex, like, finds himself, or there's just some sort of moment, like, aha moment for him. And as sad as I am to say it, I'm nervous. Like, I think that if Spencer dies, that's going to be it for him. I think it's going to, like, he's going to realize, like, there's real problems. Because, honestly, as you go on, him talking about his problems, they're really not problems compared to what other people are going through. And we talked about that a little last week, is how we've been talking about Alex's problems, and a lot of them are so, like, small, the things that he's focusing on. And, like, I think that when they see Laura going through this, because I think she's going to be very vulnerable in the next episodes, and I think she's going to be opening up with Spencer a lot. And I think finally that's what's going to bring Val and Alex back together, because they're going to realize we need to be there for her because she has this real problem. Someone she really cares about is dying.
Yeah, I think, actually, speaking of that, I think he's going to get, like, really sick all of a sudden. I think it's going to be, like, a quick flip, like he's in the hospital and everyone's confused. I think it's going to happen in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sad to say it. I hope not. But I think that's where it's going, because they've been so adamant about, like, Laura and his relationship and the cancer. But I do hope that Val and Alex work it out so they can be there for Laura, because they forget she's 16, right? 16.
Yeah, she's a kid.
She's a kid, and right now she has no one there to talk to. So that's what I think. But now, let's get into it with Rhenzy.
Yeah.
So, first of all, did you see, before you, like, auditioned and got this part, were you a fan, or had you seen the show before?
So I got the audition, and, you read the specs, skinny, African-American, I'm like, check. It has to be skinny because he has terminal cancer. I'm like, am I terminal cancer skinny? Sure, yeah, I'll take it. I go in, before I go in for the audition, I looked up the show, and it's on Hulu, and I didn't have Hulu at the time. So I went to my friend's house, binge-watched the entire first season, loved it. I'm like, this would be so crazy if I got a part on it. And I knew right from the beginning I'd be getting the love interest of Laura. And so I was like, oh my God, that would be awesome. And so I go in and I audition, and they like me a lot. And I could tell in the room, that they're excited. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll get a call back. 2 days later, they asked me, hey, are you SAG? And I'm like, and I haven't, because I haven't worked before. She's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, oh, sorry, that's a deal breaker. We can't take you on the show. And I'm like, oh, no way. Like, I wanted this part so badly, and for that to have been the thing to screw me over, it kind of sucked. They call me after the weekend on a Monday, and they're like, all right, can you work tomorrow? I was like, yeah, of course I can. And they were like, all right, yeah, come in tomorrow at whatever time. I think it was like 9 in the morning, and we'll start shooting. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. They half-heartedly me on. And so I got the job. That was my first thing. And then afterwards, after I did my first day, they scheduled me for, the next couple months in which I'd be shooting.
That's so interesting, too, because you said that you weren't SAG, and that's... Because this was this your, like, first...
This is my first job
Exactly.
Ever. Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
So what, like, got you out here, and what made you jump into acting?
I'm 18. I just finished high school. My parents moved out here. My mom, and my stepdad moved out here maybe 2 years ago for my sophomore year of high school. I played baseball. I never really thought about acting until I got here, and I was like, I'm in LA. I always thought it was cool. Like, I'd see it on TV. Oh, I could do that. I was seeing it in a movie. Oh, I could do that. And then I got into it my junior year. I quit baseball. A year ago, I started acting, and I was like, this is awesome. I mean, this is what I want to do forever. And so I quit baseball completely. I started taking acting classes. Last January, I got an agent. I was able to get one at Abrams Artist Agency, which is awesome. They're doing great. And then, a couple months went by, I think in February, March, and I booked this, and I was like, wow, so quick how things are happening. It's like insane.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I feel like you hear so many people, like, from
years, months.
Yes, years wanting
it's
this.
Like, how lucky am I that I come in, Golden Globe nominated show, you get 10 episodes right off the bat. It's like, I still can't believe that, I'm doing this right now. It's like insane to me.
That is so awesome, because you hear so many stories of people just so long.
Yeah, so it's not easy. I mean, it's, there's so many people going after one job. It's like, you can't, if you half-ass this type of thing, it's not going to work out ever. You know what I mean? You have to, and that's what I've been trying to do, is just 100% try and put everything I have into it, because you won't make it otherwise. I mean, it's so hard to make it as is. You got to really go for it. And so, you know, it hasn't been a lot of time, but I have been, you know, trying as hard as I can, and thankfully things have been working.
Yeah, you've been really great on the show.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
of course. Do you have any funny stories from set or anything?
Let's see. Well, a lot of my stuff is like dark.
Depressing, a little morbid?
Yeah, so I don't know if I have any funny stories. I'm trying to think quickly. Darn, no, I wish I had a better story from set. But I mean, we did the hot tub scene, I guess. That water, we do rehearsals first, and so the first time that I got into the hot tub, it was like not warm at all, and so I had to get in actually do the rehearsal. And so that was the, I guess, the funniest thing I can think of, is just that the hot tub wasn't hot.
What was the cast like? Because they obviously had all been together for an entire season. So what was it like kind of going into this show? Like you said, this Golden Globe nominated show, coming in as the newbie. What was it like?
I mean, there's such great people. I mean, they just opened up completely, and like I felt like another part. Like I just felt, you know, important when you're there. You feel like, wow, okay, these guys really accept me. Like I'm really doing it. Like you feel like another actor. You feel like like you're one of them almost. And it's like this elite, you think of it as this elite group of actors, oh wow, working actors, but like you jump right in and, you know, you're a part of that whole system, and it's so awesome. I mean, Tommy and Michaela and Tara, they're just great people, and the producers and creators, Zander and Helen and Liz, I mean, they're all great, and I, you know, love them for giving me my first job, and hopefully, you know, things keep going up.
Yeah.
We do sound effects here.
Yeah,
good.
We like it. So we know that Laura's character is becoming quite attached to Spencer, but Spencer is still kind of joking around, and I don't think it's really hit him yet, but do you think he's very attached to Laura as well at this point?
I think at this point, at episode 11, I think he does. I think he likes this girl. I mean, you know, it's weird that he kind of is jumping into relationships and is still doing school. To me, it's like, you have 6 months to live. You think I'd be in school with 6 months? No, I would not be. That's why I'm not going to college. I hate school. But I mean, to me, it's so crazy how he just keeps living his life. He's not going to let this, you know, cancer thing take him out of the game. So, I mean, I think he does have feelings for this girl, and I think, you know, he sort of is taking a he's a cool guy. I mean, look at the way he dresses. It's like, they dress me so nice. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Look the way he dresses.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he's a cool dude, and I think he just, you know, he's just living life the way he knows how to, and that includes, you know, the girls, the drugs, or whatever they do. But he's just having a fun time, I think. I don't think he's thinking about it too much.
Yeah, because it's an interesting thing, too, because it's like, obviously, he's known for a while that this is going to happen to him. It's almost Laura who it's more surprising for her to jump in that relationship, because she's the one who's going to have to still be there.
Right.
And she's going to deal with this loss, whereas, you know...
Yeah, I just won't. I won't.
Yeah, you won't be there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a little nervous how Laura is going to spiral. Okay, so I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
What would you say that you think, as Rhenzy, are a couple qualities, because we talked about how you got in here super fast, like got into the acting world fast. Obviously you're talented, because it's not just luck, you know.
Yeah.
So what would a couple qualities you have as a person that you think helped you get from where you started in acting to like getting this part? Like, what do you think helped you get there?
Okay, so what I see a lot, and I've thought about this before, because I'm like, what am I doing right that I got a job so quickly? It's like insane. And I thought a lot of it's got to be luck, because this right part came along that I'm right for. But I mean, I see a lot of my friends who also want to be actors, and I think it's just you have a lot of fear, like even subconsciously, there's a lot of fear that maybe if I go out for the part, oh, maybe they won't like me and I won't get, or maybe if I go out and audition for these agents, maybe I won't, and then that'll like unvalidate you in a way, like they're looking for validation almost, and it's like, you really can't be scared. If you're scared, then, I mean, you know, there's no way you're going to make it. You're going to face a lot of rejection. You can't be afraid of it. You have to go head on into this kind of, you know, acting thing. And I haven't been in it for long, so I don't know. But I mean, what I've done is I just haven't been scared to take the chances, to take the risk that either are going to say that I'm a good actor or a bad actor. I just go for it. And I mean, it's worked so far. So I like that.
Oh, awesome.
Do you have any upcoming projects yet, or still just kind of?
Yeah, I'm just auditioning around right now. Ever since, I mean, it's cool since the show has come out. A lot of different management companies have contacted. I have an agent already, but management companies and big ones, ones that I'm like, wow, really, you guys have these people in your, in your list. It's like, it's awesome that people are starting to recognize me, and and just, you know, want me a part of their team and to kind of build me up. It's awesome. But other than that, no, I mean, I've gotten close to a lot of things. It's like a lot of things. It's like, oh, you're pinned for it. Oh, you're pinned for it. Like you and two other kids are up for it. And it's like every time you get so close and then they just drop you. It doesn't feel good. I mean, it feels like I got so close that could have done this to my career. You know what I mean? But, you know, that's the game that I got myself into.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more of you. Congratulations on booking this so early. I didn't even realize, like, that's so quick and that's so awesome. I love your character on the show.
Thank you.
You're doing an incredible job.
Awesome.
That is all we have time for this week. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure that you follow AfterBuzz TV on YouTube, on Twitter. Give us a thumbs up. What else? Subscribe. Comment. We love to hear what you guys have to say about the show. I've been your host, Abby Vega. If you want to keep the conversation going with me, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at _Abby Vega. And Renee, where can they find you?
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel.
And a big thank you again to our guest, Rhenzy. He is incredible. And where can they follow you?
Twitter, Instagram, Rhenzy Feliz on Twitter, and Rhenzy F on Instagram.
Sweet.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
Take care.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.